Detroit Become Human launched in 2018. It quickly became one of David Cage's biggest games. Now, for those that don't know, David Cage is a very ambitious game director known for cinematic adventures, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, but many consider Detroit to be his best work yet. It quickly became his studio's best-selling game, moving 6 million units on the PS4 and the PC. Now, a direct sequel game to Detroit has not been announced yet, but there have been whispers floating around the internet about a project being in development following the upcoming franchise. Welcome to Video Game Leaks, everybody. Chaos here. Today, we are going to break down everything we know in detail about Detroit Becomes Human 2. You know it's going to happen. Make sure you guys drop a like. Make sure you're subscribed with those notifications fully turned on. And Detroit Become Human Tokyo Stories was announced earlier this year. It was created under the supervision of the game's developers, but it's currently unclear what this is going to add to the larger universe or how it will actually tie into the game's story, assuming it ties in at all. What if I told you guys it's actually a hint to an official sequel that's been quietly in the works for some time now? Now, Quantic Dream, the developer behind Detroit Become Human, not Becomes. I've played this entire game. Fantastic game. They were recently hired to do a Star Wars game. The project was announced as Star Wars Eclipse. It's expected to be in the works for another few years before we even get a whiff of it. Now, Eclipse is a massive project, but following a few company controversies, Quantic got themselves into hot water with much of the gaming community. A few months ago, it was reported they've been acquired by NetEase. And as many of you probably know, one of the first things that always happens when a studio gets bought out by a new parent company, they order a bunch of quick announcements to start generating buzz about the future of the studio. Now, this often comes in the form of sequels to beloved games or remasters, even if they don't really need one. Quantic Dream, they're hard at work on Star Wars Eclipse, and some estimates have that game not launching for another 6 years, but the studio is going to need to put something out in the meantime. Well, here we are. Detroit Become Human is a very strange choice for a spin-off series. I mean, we were all thinking that, right? It's not uncommon for a popular property to get some kind of anime spin-off, but Detroit Become Human isn't exactly the first franchise I'd expect to naturally get something unless it was ordered instead of approved. What if the Detroit Become Human genre was not some passion project, but instead something funded and pushed by Quantic Dream in order to get some extra buzz around the property before they announce an official sequel? NetEase is reportedly boosting Quantic's budgets, and I think everybody knows they're not going to wait 6 years to release another game. The studio has to make money somehow, and it's already been a few years since their last major game release. Pushing out a sequel to Detroit Become Human is a quick and safe way to generate revenue for a company and keep the public's interest in their game. Honestly, we should have already had this game. It should have been a no-brainer. Now, given the fact that Quantic has been in hot water with the gaming community recently, and adding to that fact that a lot of people think their game design is outdated and needs some kind of innovation, they're a studio that needs to stick to things that work. They're not really in a position to do something really unexpected or potentially unwelcome. They need a quick slam dunk to win the gaming community back, and I think the best way to do that is to expand upon their last game. It was so well received. Still has a lot of fans in the gaming community to this day. Now, with the additional funding from NetEase, I could imagine a Detroit sequel will drop within the next 3 years and kind of mark a halfway point to Star Wars Eclipse. I want you to bookmark this video and see if we end up being right about this, and understand that this is all speculation at this point, but I truly think a Detroit Become Human sequel or spinoff or something will drop before Star Wars Eclipse is released. You can tell me why you agree, you can tell me why you disagree in the comments, but I think the writing's on the wall for this one. I hope you guys have a great day.